Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends, and welcome on JCB Live. Tonight, I decided to be by myself with all the bubbles in the world and the very best bubbles to show you a burst of excitement, not only for now, forever, and specifically for this year and the holidays. So we're gonna start with our fabulous Gala Champagne. Because friends, is there a moment in your life where you feel energized, passionate, or maybe down, or maybe nostalgic, or maybe melancholic? What you need to do, you go in the kitchen, you get a knife, and you do this. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? You use your best knife, kitchen knife, and you decide to make your own celebration for yourself. Just like me tonight. Why not? You gotta treat yourself with the utmost pleasure, with the best moments, and even if it's for you only, you gotta stage the celebration. And if you have friends, can you imagine watching you doing this, how impressive it is? You could do both sides. I recommend, of course, the JCB bubbles. And with the JCB bubbles, the JCB saber. So we have many kinds of sabers made by the best saber maker in the history of the world and the history of France. This is, of course, one of my favorite, Claude de Zone, and this is one of the oldest family making the best saber for Champagne since the history of time. It's a young lady who runs the business, and she's the 4th generation, and she makes the best blades. And you never go on the thin blades, you go on the thick blades. You remember how I did it? I'll do it again for you in a moment. But dear friends, is there anything better than champagne? And why it's so exciting is because bubbles really bring into your mouth the amount of excitement that really brings your whole body into what I call ebullition. If you haven't seen my video in the bathtub with Gina, go back into the Instagram and the Facebook, because it was so much fun on October 23rd to tell you about Champagne Day. And I wanted to start tonight with champagne because this is really one of the most exciting elixir of all time. This is Gala to start with. And you know, Gala is all about the colors of life, the colors of celebration. Look at this, the same wine dressed in 3 different ways. Isn't it so cool? Same wine dressed in 3 different ways. Yes, so when you come and visit me at the JCB Wine Bar where I am right now in Yonville, Napa Valley, or in Burgundy, or in Hillsburg, or at the Ritz-Carlton in San Francisco, or in, of course, Santa Elena, you will see us serving the 3 wines. Same taste, same profile, same blend, Grand Cru, top of the top, with this amazing assortment of color. If you're good, and if you are wanting to go beyond every stage of imagination, then you go with the rose gold. And this is about Pinot Noir at its best, with a little Chardonnay and a tiny bit of Pinot Meunier. And this is rose metallic gold, painted on the bottle. That is a different wine and really brings rosé besides anything you've seen ever before. That's salmon, pink, and of course with a little bit of rose gold color into it. This is very trendy. Look at this. This is celebration, and that shows you how much bubble we do at JCB. The best of the best. And then I want to take you through a journey through our bubbles, because I think it's very important that we all live to the fullest. My passion for bubbles started very young because there's a big tradition in France. You welcome a newborn with wine, typically red wine. You put it on his lips or her lips, and then massage the gums, and then calms the baby down and give him or her the first taste of wine. This is a French and Burgundy tradition. There's another one that says, champagne and light and bring thrills and luminosity to that newborn. And this is what my parents did for me very early on. They gave me the taste of bubbles, and since then, I love it. And this is why my dream was, besides champagne, to really bring Burgundy to the highest level of bubbles. And this is really what we've done with the most yin and yang bottle, the JCB number 8. The JCB number 8 is this fabulous metallic gold again label with the symbol of 8, the yin and yang. Not just the lucky number of Asia, one of my favorite number of all time because it's the perfect symmetrical balance. It brings the richness and the opulence of Chardonnay with the rigorous discipline of Pinot. So this is 50% Chardonnay, 50% Pinot. And this is a wine which took us a long time to be able to create because it had to be very delicate. It had to be very radiant. It had to be very luminous. It had to be very balanced. And for that, some of you may have already the perfect companion to bubbles. And the way I open the bottle is always with a gentle move from my thumb, as you can see. I'm aiming at my closest friends, and here we go. The bubble is going on its own, and then I carafe it. And this is something you want to do in the house. You aim for the curtains, or you go directly for someone's face, you will never hurt anyone. And if someone can open their mouth and grab it at the same time, this is a pretty cool miracle. And this is for the perfect 8, but not only. This is a decanter which is meant to illustrate the ultimate stage of taste. So what is the ultimate stage of taste? This is actually a form that is a massive bubble, as you can see, a little ovoidal, so a little bit like an egg shape, which is what we call the perfect shape, symbolizing by phi, the divine proportion. And this is the master bubble that really brings the history of bubbles to the 1780s. Roughly 1785, when Marie Antoinette ordered in the Galerie des Glaces, in the famous Versailles, beautiful mirror room, get rid of all the bottles. I want to see them all in a decanter. Everybody panicked. Oh, Madame the Queen, what are you ordering to do? Are you crazy? They never said that, but I would. And she said, try. The bubbles will be thinner and the celebration will be grander because it's all about crystal. And she was right. We introduced for the first time in 1785, bubbles decanted. The bubbles were thinner, very delicate. All the women in Versailles started to be talking about it, and they said the bubbles are dancing on my palate and the bubbles are just caressing my tongue and giving me incredible, immense pleasure and allowing me to drink them fully and to dream about the celebration of great wine. And this is really what happened way back in the 18th century. And this is how we decided to reintroduce a decanter. And the decanter allows the bubbles to escape. In which way? So trivia question. You are all with me now, and I want you in the chat to tell me how many bubbles in a bottle of sparkling wine, champagne, or méthode champenoise. I'm not talking about Charmat. I'm talking about the top, really, in-bottle fermentation wines. Any suggestions? I could see some of the numbers coming down. 800,000, 1,000,005, 2 million, 20 million, 1 million. Yes! Someone got it. 1 million bubbles in roughly captured in a bottle of champagne. Pretty amazing. So the moment you open the bottle, you lose 20%. The moment you carafe it, you lose another 20 to 30%, which makes the perfect condition to enjoy bubbles. So, dear friends, I invite you to really taste our Burgundy JCB number 8. This is my must-go holiday bubble. Why? The perfect balance, Chardonnay Pinot, male, female, hard taste, tender taste, spontaneous and romantic, nostalgic and melancholic. You go through the whole spectrum, it satisfies everyone. And as you will see, there's a vintage, which is 2012 in the bottom left. So this is an 8-year-old wine with very thin and refined bubbles. And this is really what you want to have, not only for the holidays, but always in your cellar. Because this sparkling wine really prepares only the dish coming, the amuse-bouche floating around, but at the same time prepares your palate. Brings neutrality, it brings a balance between acidity, bitterness, salt, and sugar. And this is often, believe it or not, the purpose of why in Europe we serve bubbles before dinner, is to bring everybody to the same senses, taste profile, and palate balance. So to JCB number 8. Another wine that I really recommend for the holidays is Infinity. So this is one of our first ever organic and biodynamic wine from the heart of Burgundy as well. This is as well a very well balanced wine of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, but predominantly Chardonnay in this case, because it really brings the richness, the opulence, but as well the purity of what the terroir has to offer. Why this is emerald green? To remind us of nature. Remember, we borrow nature from our children, and we borrow the earth from our children as well. So this is important to think about the future and to think about how to farm responsibly and how to make wine in that very responsible way. So Infinity is magnetic, telluric, radiant, and really bring that level of energy that you've never seen before. So this is really what I'm going to be serving from the French side in the next few days for the big holidays. Then I want to show you briefly the assortment that we have, which is second to none. There's no other houses focusing so much on great bubbles from both sides of the Atlantic. And I think there's nothing more fun in addition to this than to celebrate with different taste and flavor profiles. I think you want to engage your friends on a journey. You want them to travel with you. You want them to experience different flavor profile and have them ask themselves, tell me more about each of those and tell me more why this tastes this way and this tastes that way. So here you have something very precise, very Chardonnay Pinot Burgundy, very earthy with beautiful terroir characteristics of that calcareous soil. Here you have the richness of a 2010 vintage champagne, opulent, rich, tête de cuvée, as we call it. Tête is the head, cuvée is the blend, 2010 vintage. Very rare to be able to serve a 10-year-old champagne. And now we're going into the heart of Napa Valley with number 0. And I know many of you have asked me, Jean-Charles, why number 0? 0 because there's no dosage. Dosage is that tiny, gentle sugar that you may want to add pre-bottling and corking the wine, because all those wines, before being finally corked at the last moment, it's a cap that is put at the end of the bottle just to age the wine. And then at the last moment, we add a little sugar or a liqueur, and it's called the dosage. So the art of really making each and every one of those bubbles is by adding that sugar at the ultimate moment, pre-corking them, and really bringing that intensity, that richness, that creaminess in essence, that really will enhance the taste of that brioche and butterscotch that you find in the wine. So this is a Napa Valley from our estate, right here, 2016 vintage in the heart of Napa. This is a Blanc de Blanc, so there's absolutely no Pinot Noir, And it's great because it allows you to travel to Napa Valley, which you always expect to be a great Cabernet, Merlot, or Petit Verdot Malbec area, but this is fabulous for Chardonnay, and specifically sparkling wine Chardonnay. So you're up to a big surprise. And as you can see, this is one of my favorite color, blue. There's a lot of blue in all our lounges and in my closing. So that's one of the wines you really want to enjoy. But then if you're into passion, here we are. And I know a lot of you love passion, are into passion, are very passionate, right? So this is really one of the selection I recommend from Carneros. So this is that phenomenal magical place between Napa and Sonoma. This is really the cleavage of both, or the place that brings both valley together. This is the hyphen between two dates. This is really a great wine. Very luscious, very sensual. And this is a blend, Chardonnay, Pinot. And can you believe, many of you are wondering, how do we blend Chardonnay, a white grape with Pinot Noir, a red grape? Same family, Chardonnay, Pinot. Pinot is actually a red grape with white juice. It's only by the contact of the skin that it gets that beautiful rosé or red color. So here we press and we age. So it's a pure Brut 2016 from Carneros. And then finally, two other numbers that I'm gonna let you discover because I know your creativity is there. Number 9, 2009. So this is the wine I favor with my lovely wife Gina because this is the date of the anniversary of our wedding. And number 34, Rosé from Carneros as well, which is the date when I bought my first vineyard at the age of 34 in the heart of California. So this is a very big deal for me because this is one of the wines that I always want to have to celebrate memory, history, and obviously a moment in time that brought me closer to California. And then as a very limited edition, as the Surrealist is, this is the wine that brings surrealism to your palate. This is the wine we've made in tiny, limited quantities, like the Surrealist that you want to have, and it obviously carries this amazing piece of jewelry that is the symbol of you and yourself. In this case, me and myself. And this is a wine that is always amazing everyone around you because it's a wine that interrogates the presentation and the views of how we look at champagne and sparkling wine. Because we always think the best of the best is in champagne, but I think thanks to what we're presenting for all of you for the holidays, a true Franco-American love, a true love of both countries, representing the best that they have to offer. So dear friends, we have to conclude and wish you an amazing evening. But as we do, we're gonna have to go again for the ultimate sabering moments. So this time, I'm really taking the dress off all the way from the bottom, undressing the bottles. As you can see, I'm taking it all off. This is another way you could do it. You could keep it or take it off. You take what we call in French the muselet away, right? And you leave it very pure and easy to caress. Then you find the seam, which is very adequately positioned. You want to make sure the bottle is very cold, and then you warm it up, and you go. And you go. And here it is. I managed it so it was very soft, very gentle. So you saw the cork just went on a lip. So I went on the upper side of the lip, so I had that perfect cut to show you one of my favorite, one of the wines I could drink by the bottle, JCB number 13, which is really what Gina, my lovely wife, discovered in the cellar in Burgundy many years ago. Divine and obviously representing foreverness. So dear friends, that purity of pink, that elegance of the nose, that refinement of Pinot Noir, which is in this bottle, should represent this amazing year that we're going to celebrate all of us together, which is 2021. So let's raise our glass to the great year to come. Wonderful moments together with the world of bubbles, and to celebrate life and to enjoy one another with bubbles. So remember what I said during the election. In defeat, we drink bubbles to forget. But to celebrate when we win, we drink bubbles for celebration. So to celebrate, to love, to passion, dear friends, have a great time and happy holidays.